Hi guys, and welcome to a Halloween special where I'm going to take all these lovely sprues that you guys have been sending in to me and turn them into a Halloween monster or fiend or creature, something basically. So obviously the first thing I need to do is to get these sprues, get them all ready so I can use them. And what I like to do is obviously go around on the inside, cut out all these little bits, because then that leaves me with the outer edge. And obviously this bit I like to sort of cut up in the long lengths, and generally whenever I make something I like to make a framework for it. So I make the framework, cover it in Sprue Goo or sprue panels, and yeah, make it from there. So the inside bit I'm going to obviously cut up into nibbly knobbly bits, and these are the bits that obviously get turned into the Sprue Goo. But I'll show you a bit more about that later. So sometimes it can be difficult to think of things to make, and that's where this guy here comes in handy.
It's Monster Bash time. It's my favourite time of the year.
Yeah, mine too, Trent, as this takes all the hard thinking of what to make out of my hands and completely into some, well, random hands. So for anyone who doesn't know, you basically use this random card generator to generate 7 different images, and then from those 7 images, well, you make something basically. So here we go, these are the 7 I'm going to get. So there's the first one, kind of like a tail possibly. And some legs in boots, I guess. What's the next one going to be, I wonder? And a candle, because, well, why not, I guess? And the next one, good old, is that Homer Simpson as a donut? Yeah, obviously that's definitely monster-ish, kind of. Extremely long legs, something that I've not got. So, yeah, got a bit of a varied sort of idea here. And, I don't know, eggs? I'm not too sure. That's the great thing with this thing, you don't know quite what you're going to get, and even when you do get it, oh, bunch of eyes, you can still sort of, well, interpret how you like. So this is what I've got basically, printed off, and from these 7 images, and obviously this nice big box of sprues, yeah, I'm going to make something. And not forgetting good old ooey gooey spruey stuff. As you can see, this is starting to run out, so basically what it does, all I do is top it back up with loads more sprues. And then I generally leave it a few hours, and when the sprues have started to dissolve, I top it up again. Just this way I get a nice sort of, well, you don't get a full jar, but normally you get a good sort of like half a jar full of the Sprue Goo, which is awesome. So back to my images, I'm still not entirely sure how I'm going to make it, but so I'm kind of just thinking I'm going to make the individual parts. So obviously this one's, again, I don't know if they're eggs or just balls, but I've got these little silicone moulds that I'm going to use. And obviously with these I can make loads of balls. It's just a case of getting the Sprue Goo out and slowly but surely filling these little silicone rubber moulds, yeah, with Sprue Goo. And the great thing is the acetone doesn't seem to affect these rubber moulds in any kind of way, which is awesome. So while these half ball, eggs, poop, well, whatever these are, we can crack on with the rest of the thing. So basically I'm going to start with the base. I've done this kind of base a few times now, which has worked out really well. Basically it's just a case of getting one of the sprues and then filling it with the Sprue Goo. This way you get a nice sort of 4 to 5mm base, and obviously once it hardens it's, well, plastic. So yeah, a nice strong solid base for which to sort of make all the other bits and pieces onto it really. These kind of panels do take a bit longer to dry than my sort of normal thin panels, but that's fine. Again, normally whenever I make these kind of things I make bits and then leave them overnight. So like I always say, when I do make things with sprues, there is a lot more waiting in between, especially when using the Sprue Goo, having to wait for it to obviously, well, turn into Sprue Goo, and then waiting for it to turn out of Sprue Goo. So yeah, and obviously the good thing here is, because I want this to look a bit sort of nurgly looking, I'm going to keep pushing and pressing the goo so it goes all wrinkly and old and sinewy looking. Back to my little images, I'm now going to have a go at doing the donut, as I'm kind of going to use this as the main sort of body part, just because, well, trying to work out how this is all going to fit together, it's quite difficult. So yeah, I'm going to make the donut, and then from that I'm going to sort of like work around where I need to sort of add bits or take bits away. So yeah, good old sprue panels, obviously lovely and easy to cut with just a normal pair of scissors. Cut out the rough sort of desired shape. Again, like I was saying earlier on, I am going to make a framework. Even for something as simple as a little donut, making a framework is much better than trying to make the whole thing out of the Sprue Goo. Main reasons basically, the Sprue Goo would take forever to dry if you was to make it sort of thick enough to make this donut. And also, gravity isn't its friend. So if you made it in one part, basically you'd walk away, leave it for a few hours, and it'll all just sag down at the bottom and be, well, big pile of Sprue Goo mess. So yeah, making a little framework. Yeah, basically just chopping up some other bits of sprue to obviously go around the inner edge of this kind of circle, donut. And yeah, just to make sort of the gap that's going to go in between the two panels, which will eventually obviously have Sprue Goo over them. And there you go. So it's kind of like I've invented the wheel, obviously with a bit of a chunk taken out. And then yeah, more panels, and this can be used to sort of fill in the gap going all the way around. Obviously, the other good thing about doing it this way is it does make this a whole lot thinner. And as I say, just the fact that it does dry a lot quicker. Now I have got the rough shape that I kind of need. Now it's the time to get the Sprue Goo out and basically put this all over it and obviously try and manipulate it to look more sort of rounded and, well, more like a donut, I guess. So as you can see, I'm wearing glasses. I am working in a well-ventilated area even. Can't quite get the words out. So yeah, I would advise doing the same. Even though the smell, well, there's very little smell, apart from when you actually take the lid off the jar. That's the only time you really get the smell. Yeah. So yeah, working it a little bit. So this is kind of like sort of very soft plasticine. When it first comes out of the jar, it sticks to everything. But literally, give it 30 seconds, a minute, and then it doesn't sort of stick half as much. And the great thing is, because it is still very, very soft, it is very easy to manipulate into, well, whatever sort of fashion you need it to be, basically. So yeah, I do like using this stuff for this main reason, that it is like a plasticine. So it can be moulded, it can almost be a kind of sculpt, and obviously once it goes fully hard, if you wanted to, you could sand it down. Not that I've ever done that in the past, but if you've seen the new video that will be coming out, well, it could be a few weeks yet, I'm building a towel manta out of sprues and only sprues, and that I am going to be sanding down fully once it's finished. But that's a long way off. I am doing live streams of me building it, guys, if you want to sort of see how the progress of that's coming along. Anyway, back to this build. So yeah, just keep adding bits and adding bits. And say, the more time this is out in the air, obviously the firmer it does start to get. So it is, say, it's very nice and easy to manipulate into whatever shape you need. And obviously it sticks well to itself, obviously. And yeah, once this does all firm up, this will be rock hard. Like one basically lump of plastic. And one of the things the Sprue Goo is really good at, and that is filling in gaps. So yeah, obviously this is now hard, and this has been sort of like a good day or two. So what is on there is nice and hard. And yeah, it's just a case of going around now using this little tool, so I can sort of get little bits at a time and basically push it in and try and fill up any little gaps that may be there, or any rough sort of areas, and just basically make it nice and smooth and, well, again, donut-y looking. So I was still having problems trying to think out how I could sort of make all these components work together, so I went and had a bath. And, well, I had a eureka moment thinking about this, obviously when I was laying in the bath. And yeah, this is what I was thinking in my head. So excuse the very poor drawing, but this is kind of roughly what I was thinking and how I could incorporate all the different sort of elements that I had picked out, basically. So yeah, again, I'm still not too sure what these things are he's sitting on, whether they're eyeballs, poop, or well, yeah, I don't know. Could be anything really. So yeah, I've made some more of these like half-shaped circles, some big ones and little ones. Again, with the little silicone rubber molds, as they work really well. And I'm using this one as basically it's kind of like a filler, so I can have my little chap sitting on it and then cover it in loads of balls. And I'm also going to have the candles that are going to go around the edge. Again, that's why I really enjoy doing these Monster Bash things, because you don't know what you're going to get, and then trying to work out how you're going to make something is a lot of fun. Because say sometimes you can sort of run out of ideas, or you just have a mental block. So doing this, I say it's taken out of your hands what you're building, and you've just got to try and incorporate all the bits and build something. So yeah, I definitely had fun making this, and again, making it out of sprues is always a bit of a challenge, which I'm always up to. So yeah, lots of fun. So yeah, I'm going to position obviously my little chap on this ball, but just to make sure he fits on there well, I'm going to stick a little bit of sprue in it, and obviously he's then going to have that in him. So yeah, nice and painful. He's going to be sitting on this little spiky bit. But hey, it's a donut, so who cares? And yeah, these little ones, obviously great for little eyes. So this is going to look like, well, Homer Simpson, kind of, which is Obviously very bizarre. But as you'll see later, this does get scarier, well, much later. It does seem to go through a stage of just looking silly and fun. So yeah, so these are all them balls that I'm now rolling up. Again, you can use this and treat this like plasticine. So obviously get the little bits, pull them off, roll them up. Again, gravity will kind of like suck them down and flatten them out. So all you have to do is every now and then re-roll them, and they'll then keep the shape that you're putting them in, basically. So back to the candles, which obviously, as you saw just a second ago, I have taken 4 sprues, glued them together just to make obviously a bit of thickness. Now I'm just going to shave off any sort of the sharp pointy edges, and then I'm going to cover them in obviously good old Sprue Goo just to kind of like round them off. But the good thing here is I'm not going to do it too neat, as I want these to look like old candles that are obviously partially sort of melted. So yeah, so having them a little bit uneven and a little bit skew-if will just add to the effect that I want, really. So this build is obviously going to be 100% sprues, and obviously the sprinkles, well, they're nice and easy to make. That was just simply a case of getting the sprues, cutting nibbly knobbly bits off, and then gluing the bits on. So yeah, nice and simple there. So I hope you guys are enjoying the sort of the sprue builds that I'm doing. And as I say, it just goes to show what can be done with the sprues and obviously the Sprue Goo. I mean, if you go and take a look at my other videos, and obviously you'll be able to see that I've made an Orc Stomper, Orc Battle Wagon, I've made a Wizard's Tower, and obviously the thing that I love the most, the Sprue Burger. So yeah, go check them out as well, guys. So again, another one of those half dome shaped thingies, and this one's going to be, well, it's going to be a big eyeball. So this creature's obviously going to have some long legs, and at the end of the long legs it's going to have some, well, kinky boots basically. So yeah, and one of them is going to be poking into that eyeball. And here's those little sort of round, sort of ball shaped thingies. Again, still not sure what these are going to be. My little vision that I had in the bath didn't really show me what these were going to be, apart from obviously this little guy sitting on loads of balls. So that's exactly what he's doing here, basically. One of the images that I did randomly choose basically said long legs. So to give this guy long legs, I'm going to make them thin, because obviously if they were fatter legs, they wouldn't look as long. So yeah, it's going to have some sort of spindly, thin, long legs. Which again, I mean, this whole build is just so random. There's no way that I would have ever thought about making something like this, which is just, I mean, it's just bizarre. So guys, yeah, go and check out everyone else's sort of random Monster Bash generator thingies, because everyone's image will be so different. Obviously everyone's going to be choosing different pictures, randomly choosing different pictures, as well as making each thing in, well, different sort of stuff. The chances are mine will probably be the only one made out of sprues, because I don't think many people use sprues as much as I do. And probably rightly so, because it is a bit weird using sprues to make so many different things. But yeah, go and check out everyone else's. All you've got to do is type in Monster Bash, and you'll see, or Monster Bash 3 even, and you'll see a whole variety of other sort of YouTubers, and well, what they've come up with. So he's still not looking too creepy at the moment, but not to worry. I say in the final sort of painting stages, then you'll see, well, you will see him very creepy. Although he does go through a stage where he almost looks more comical than creepy. But yeah, bear with me. He will get to the creepy sort of, wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley sort of stage later on. Even though this is quite a small build, it still did take about 3-4 days. And that's basically because a lot of the times you have to sort of make a little bit and then leave it to dry or harden or firm up. So yeah, again, that's why it is quite a challenge making things with sprues, especially when, say, Sprue Goo is involved, just because of the time waited in between. So if you have seen any of the build that I'm doing with the Towel Manta, obviously you'll know just how big it is. And again, sometimes I have to do a bit and I have to leave it for about 24 hours, if not longer, before I can then go and do a bit more to it. So there you go, yeah, I think sharp pointed teeth certainly is a winner and does make him look a little bit more sort of aggressive. And yeah, obviously I'm going to stick a nice long tongue in there, because the idea is his tongue's coming out to eat up all the eyeballs that his sort of arm, tentacle kind of thing he's going to be holding, basically. And now onto those all-important kinky boots. So yeah, one of the pictures obviously showed sort of small kind of boots. Well, I thought let's take it a bit of a step further, and I'm going to do some thigh-high kinky boots. But I was toying with the idea of painting them a pink or a red. But basically, whatever colour I do end up painting them, I'm going to put them in some sort of varnish, just so they're shining, just so they look more like PVC kinky boots. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with how these come out. Again, this build is just so random. There's no way you'd ever think about making something like this. Well, that being said, if your name's Trent and you got a channel called Miscast, then yeah, you probably would, because he has got an awesome mind that basically comes up with all kinds of weird, wonderful and wacky stuff. Whereas I think my mind is a bit more, I don't know, reserved. I can't quite often, or sometimes I don't think out of the box quite as much as he does. So yeah, if you haven't seen his channel, guys, well, I'm sure you probably have. Yeah, Trent at Miscast. So, good old flame. I know a lot of you guys are going to moan and complain, cyanide gas and cancer and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you may be right. I do wear masks, I do have my windows open, and I don't set fire to too many things, just every now and then, just a little bit. Yeah. And again, obviously in this case, I'm using it to make a framework. So, well, a skeleton more so in this case. So yeah, so most things I build, rather have a framework in them or a skeleton. Again, this just means I use less of the Sprue Goo, and it gives it something to sort of help keep its rigidity and, well, basically whatever shape it's going into. So yeah, so this is that sort of that tail image. Again, wasn't too sure how I was going to work it in, but obviously as this, I didn't get any sort of like arms of any kind. I mean, the thing with this is you can make up arms. It's not like you have to sort of stick to the images 100%. You can obviously add bits here and there, but I kind of I like to be literal. And yeah, the images I get, that's exactly what I get. So this was a rare case where I actually put this on and it looked too smooth. Generally when I'm working with Sprue Goo, it moves about and it gets wrinkles and it just looks a bit rough. Whereas I put his arm on and it was lovely and smooth, and it's like, that's not what I wanted. So yeah, going over it with a little tool just to obviously make it look a little bit less smooth. And yeah, so I'm really pleased with how it's coming along, apart from this bit, which was meant to be, well, sort of teeth marks. But I think I overdid it with the ziggy-zaggy bit. And basically it was kind of toying on my mind all the time. And it's that case of, do I leave it, carry on, paint it, but then just don't like it? Or do I sort of spend 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it takes, just to chop these bits out and then refill it with some more Sprue Goo? And obviously, as you can see, it was the latter. Yeah, there's no way I could have left it, because it would have played on my mind and I would have just been like, why didn't I do it? So yeah, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever it took. Yeah, chop all those zigzaggy bits off and more Sprue Goo for the win, just to sort of fill in that empty space. So yeah, I'm not going to do teeth again, because somehow I just messed up and it didn't look like teeth marks, basically. Well, certainly not human teeth marks, anyway. So I made loads more round balls, and obviously these ones are going to be the eyeballs that this dude's going to be eating, or that is a case of it will be when I can get them to stick onto his tongue. Yeah, so generally I like to use a super glue, but sometimes even the super glue isn't the fastest of setting. I say, because I do have all my windows open for obviously good ventilation, but it does mean it's cold, and the super glue really doesn't seem to work too well, obviously, when it's cold. So I do need to get some sort of accelerator or fastener, or well, maybe even better super glue, because the one I use is a nice cheap one. I say it does the job, it gets there in the end. Sometimes it just takes longer than I'd like it to. So for the candles, I took a bit of sprue and heated it up and stretched it out to make the wick, and then obviously the actual flame on the end. Again, as you can see, a little bit of Sprue Goo, have it upside down, so obviously it dangles down, and that'll kind of give you the effect of obviously the flame sort of flickering around, basically. And then that's about it, really. So yeah, a case of getting some primer on there. You can see roughly how it's looking, and yeah, I'm pleased with it. I say it's beyond random, but there you go. So yeah, now on to painting it. But before we do, I'm going to indulge and do a little bit of an advert. So guys, get ready for one of my adverts rather than YouTube's advert. If you play tabletop games, then you're going to have loads of these. That's right, dice. And these lovely things come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, from plastic ones to metal ones to gold ones and to huge ones. All the ones I use can be bought from Easy Roller Dice, link in the description. But don't you just hate it when this happens? Too many dice innocently go off the edge of the table and under the sofa. If this has happened to you, then you need my face on a dice tray. So whether you're rolling just the one die, or several dice. Or if you play a game where you use tons of dice, then you need to be rolling them on my face. So check out Easy Roller Dice, where you can find this great dice tray, all these varieties of dice, and use my code MINI15 to get 15% off your order. And who knows, rolling your dice on my face might give you that lucky roll. Click on the link below when the video finishes. Right, let's get back to some painting. As you have seen in quite a lot of my recent videos, I am thoroughly enjoying painting now. Which if you go back and watch some of my early videos from when I first started this channel, you'll hear me quite often saying, I hate painting, I'm no good at painting, I hate it. Whereas now, I'm obviously not the best, but I'm definitely not the worst, and I certainly enjoy it. Definitely more so with little minifigures. Obviously when you're painting something larger, I think it's a lot harder. But yeah, painting minifigures, and you'll see a few videos coming out soon of me painting minifigures, and I think they would come out really, really well. So again, with this thing, all I was going to sort of try to do was get the block colours on, because basically I knew I was going to go over the whole thing with a wash, and obviously the wash is what's going to make him look sort of, well, terrifying, dirty, grimy, and just say generally kind of like a nasty looking piece of work, really. I've just noticed this is rather a long video, so I hope you guys are still here and you've not fallen asleep. Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you are still here, because this is probably one of my longest videos, and I'm not too sure how that's happened. I guess it's because I'm talking like I am now and I'm just waffling. But there we go. So yes, obviously doing the colours, the base colours that I did, again, he looked too sort of soft and, well, not quite sweet because of those teeth. So I really wanted to make him look sort of a bit more bloodier, a bit more deadlier, and yeah, just nasty. So yeah, I'm going over the whole thing with a red wash, but then sort of dabbing bits off. And again, the great thing about doing this is it becomes very inconsistent in how it looks. So some bits have more red than others. Obviously eyeballs, easier to do with a black marker pen rather than a very small, fiddly, fine paintbrush. So yeah, all the eyes, little dots here and there. I've got some clear gloss which I'm going to go over the eyeballs in, just to give them that little bit of a shine. So his big eyes, obviously all these little eyes, his tongue, and again the boots, I've given them a bit of a coating as well. And there you go guys, that is him complete. I think you can agree he's definitely a lot scarier now than than he was a moment ago. So yeah, again, I'm pleased with how he's come out. It's definitely the most random thing that I've done. Well, maybe other than the Sprue burger. But yeah, I'm pleased with it, and all Sprue built. Don't forget to check out all the other builds, because that's certainly what I'm going to be doing. They're probably going to be posted throughout the day by lots of other YouTubers, some big, some little, some new. So yeah, go and check them all out, guys. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that and you found that informative. If you want to help out the channel, become a patron like these guys here. There's a link obviously coming up in a second, but there's a link down in the description on how to become a patron. And say, support the channel. And obviously thank you to all these sponsors down here who, again, help support the channel. If you are new here and you like what I do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, as I do produce videos every week. And if you have any questions about sprues, Sprue Goo, or basically anything I make on this channel, leave them down below, as I'd like to know what you think about what I make and what I do. And say any questions at all, I will certainly answer them. Even if you just want to say hi, put hi in the chat and I'll say hi back. There's a couple more videos on my channel. Give these a little click, see more of what I do. Don't forget, subscribe here, Patreon there. Okay guys, that's it. Bye for now.